Hey Matt, hey David. Just want to go over some of the things we discussed this weekend and the way things may be morphing from there, some issues we're running into, and uh, what may be an optimal solution. So, firstly, let's go over what we discussed. We discussed using the courthouse as basically base station for our Wi-Fi, and then broadcasting to the large silver poles, which already have receptacles and already are set up ready to go, to get audio across the street to the sidewalk. The first issue that we're encountering is the spacing of the poles. We have a pole on the corner where the gazebo is. We have a pole on the corner facing the visitor bureau. Now, those two poles will get us coverage to each corner. And no matter if we use a speaker that will project actually to kind of close the gap between that space, then we're going to end up with a tremendous amount of reflection off of the buildings and some more uneven coverage. It's going to get sloppy and uncontrollable. So, the solution that I believe is probably a better solution for us is understanding that we already have established fiber internet at the visitor bureau, and the fact that we have a pole already established with electrical right beside the visitor bureau that is much like the other two that we were talking about. I think it makes sense for us to establish a bridge system and actually do a transmitter there on that pole tied into the network there, and broadcast out to receivers at those two poles and establish access points at those two poles. If we do that, then we'll be able to establish enough Wi-Fi coverage to cover those three sides of the street. But having that Wi-Fi, those access points established at those two poles, opens up a whole other option for us. There are 6 lamp posts, street lamps, on each side of the square on the sidewalk. Now, this, of course, is always our optimal location, and I'll tell you why. First of all, these lampposts do have electrical established in the right locations. They're set up ready to go for what we're talking about, but also they have the height that we need to get as close as we can to each listener, but evenly spaced between all listeners. And so that gives us the height we need to get really good even coverage across, and they're spaced closely enough that if we used all 18 on those 3 sides of the square, we would actually have extremely even coverage. Now, in the event that 18 is too much, keep in mind that Spotify uses, I think it's a maximum of 0.6 to 0.7 megabits per second per streamer, so times 18, that's considerable, but it's very manageable. So if we reduce that to every other pole, so we do a pole on a corner and then we skip the other corner and so on like that, and we do every other, so we'll end up with 9 poles utilized, and I believe that's going to give us fair coverage. There'll be some dropouts and some places where the audio will peak and then drop off before the other picks up, but it still, I think it's going to give us tremendously better results than using the silver poles and trying to get even coverage using those. So if it's okay with you guys, what I want to do is send a proposal for all 18 of those and see how that hits you. Like I said, that's going to be the optimal design. Then I'm going to send you another proposal that will only include 9 of those poles with just a little bit of drop between them. And then the third one is what I'm going to send you is, instead of establishing access points at those poles, we're just going to go straight from the bridge into a streamer and a couple of Bogan long throw speakers, and just kind of try to wash those areas best we can. And like I said, we'll get a little bit of reflection off the buildings, I'm sure, and stuff like that. But it's a good way to just get some good sound just kind of spread throughout downtown in a pinch. So there's going to be a considerable price difference between the first proposal and the last proposal. So I want to give you a kind of a wide range there. Just keep in mind that quality follows that price point. So, okay, all right. Well, let me get these out to you guys, and you guys let me know what you think. 870-814-0714 or Jerry at Bensburg.tech.